The desert wind howled across the red sands, carrying with it the scent of dust and dying hopes. Under a sinking sun, a lone cowboy named Elias Granger rode slowly across the barren land, his shadow long and tired. He wasn't searching for trouble that day, he was just searching for water. But fate had its own plans. He stopped when he heard it, a faint cry carried on the wind. At first, he thought it was a coyote. Then, he heard it again. A child's voice, weak, desperate. Following the sound, Elias dismounted and pushed through a patch of dry brush until he saw her, a little Apache girl, no older than 8, lying in the sand. Her small frame was covered in dust, her lips cracked, her dress torn. She looked half dead. He knelt beside her, lifting her head gently. "Easy now, sweetheart," he murmured, tipping his canteen to her lips. "You're gonna be all right." Her eyes flickered open, dark and full of fear. "No," she whispered. "They'll come back." Elias didn't understand who they were, but he didn't need to. He could see enough: tracks in the sand, burnt remains of a wagon nearby, and the unmistakable signs of violence. Someone had slaughtered her people and left her to die. He couldn't just leave her there. For weeks, Elias took care of the girl. He called her Naya, meaning little sister, in Apache. She didn't speak much at first. Trauma had stolen her words, but she followed him everywhere, even as he traveled from one ghost town to another. He taught her how to ride, how to shoot, and how to survive the desert's cruelty. But the world wasn't kind to an Apache girl, not in those days. When Elias took her into towns for supplies, people stared with disgust. "You're harboring a savage," one man spat in the saloon. Another threw a bottle near their feet. Elias didn't flinch. "She's a child," he growled. "And she's under my protection." The bartender warned him quietly, "You'll bring death to your doorstep, cowboy. Folks around here don't take kindly to her kind." But Elias didn't care. He'd seen too much injustice already. Maybe saving one life was the only good thing left for him to do. One night, as they camped near the canyon, Naya finally spoke more than a few words. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. "They killed my mother, my brothers," she said softly. "I'll never forget their faces." Elias didn't know what to say. He just nodded and looked at the stars. "Then live for them, Naya. Learn. Grow stronger. Don't let hate make you like them." But deep down, he knew the fire in her would never die. Years passed. Naya grew from a fragile child into a fierce young woman. She could outshoot half the men Elias knew and ride for days without rest. Yet as her strength grew, so did the danger. Word spread about the Apache girl raised by a cowboy, and soon bounty hunters came sniffing around. One night, when Elias returned from town, he found his cabin burning. Men had come for her. He fought like a wild beast, killing 2 before taking a bullet in the shoulder. He found Naya hiding under the floorboards, terrified but alive. He wrapped his arm around her, blood dripping down his shirt. "Run," he whispered. "Go. Don't look back." "I can't leave you," she cried. "You have to," Elias said, his breath ragged. "Promise me, Naya." Live. Through tears, she nodded, and disappeared into the night. That was the last time Elias ever saw her. 15 years went by. The desert grew harsher, the towns crueler. Elias, now gray and broken, lived alone in a small shack near the border. His left arm never healed right, and he could no longer ride like he used to. People had long forgotten his name. He was just another ghost of the frontier. But one stormy evening, as lightning split the horizon, he heard horses, many of them, riding hard toward his cabin. He reached for his rifle, thinking it was trouble again. But when he opened the door, he froze. In front of him stood a figure cloaked in black leather, her horse tall and strong. Her eyes gleamed in the torchlight. Behind her, dozens of riders, Apache warriors, sat in silence, their faces painted with pride. She dismounted slowly, stepping closer. Then, she smiled. "Elias Granger," she said softly. "You once saved a dying girl in the desert." He blinked, his heart pounding. "Naya," she nodded. He could hardly believe it. The frail little girl he'd once carried through the sands now stood before him as a warrior leader, strong, fearless, and commanding an army. "I went back to my people," she said. "What was left of them. We rebuilt, we learned to fight, and we never forgot the man who showed us mercy when no one else would." Elias's throat tightened. "You didn't owe me nothing, girl." She looked at him with fire in her eyes. "No, Elias, I owe you everything. You gave me life. Now I'm here to return the favor. Dash dash dash. That night, she and her warriors stood guard outside his home.